Hello, Gremolinos. It is Catherine, your favorite asthmatic, mostly 10-fingered chaos reader, and this is the new Pride vlog. I think this is Pride vlog number 3. It is Saturday. I haven't really started any vlogs on Saturday, but we're up bright and early. So Krista is on call today, so she is working, but we had to get the car inspected, so I went with her, and then we had a primary to vote in. We did not have much to vote on at all because we're Democrats in a very red county and city, so it was very small ballot for us, but it's kind of cool out, so I put on my ancient by Pride shirt. It has this little like Pride flag themed little logo, but I had to tie-dye it ages ago because I had a pair of red pants that leached dye all over it, so I just did by Pride tie-dye. But I have actually started reading a book because while we were waiting for the car to get inspected, I started reading The Long Con by Jenna Voris on Libby. I wanted to get this because I really like to say a little prayer, and this got announced like around the time that that book came out. Say a Little Prayer is a gay religious like rom-com. I highly recommend it. It was a really good time. But this one is completely different. So this one is set in Florida, and it's a con, like the long con. There's a big con involved. Think like Ocean's 8. So we are following Chloe, Harper, Priya, and Logan. Chloe and Harper are our main 2 con artists here. They have known each other for about a year. Chloe hates Harper. Harper keeps doing things to Chloe that mess up jobs, stuff like that. Logan was Chloe's roommate in college, and Priya is someone she met while she was in Florida. Priya is basically a tech genius, but works at a like a local home improvement store, and that's how they met. They ran a con to start the book at an event for this guy whose last name is Carlisle, Andrew Carlisle, and he owns a hotel chain that's very successful, but he's also trying to run for office. And as it turns out, he is in a feud with another hotel mogul, I guess, named Catherine. And as it turns out, Harper knows Catherine. I will not say how because I don't know if it's in the description, but Harper knows Catherine, and in like a familial way, not a they've been together. Like they are related is what I will say. So Carlisle has actually convinced Harper and Chloe, as well as Chloe's 2 friends, to take on a job to steal back an award that he insists Catherine stole from him. And what's weird is the award is not actually worth any money, but he's offering ultimately $6 million to get it back. And I am just like, there is something else going on. Like, there is no way he's just throwing millions of dollars at you to get this thing back. Something else is up. But that's all we know so far. They are planning the heist to get this award back. There's also like a private island with a big, massive, brand new hotel on it that Catherine owns. And that is how the story is going. It's a little weird that the Catherine spells her name exactly like me. Also, it is a little odd that the main character's name is Chloe. I had wanted to read this book before we lost Chloe, our very sweet, wonderful, incredible Rottweiler. And so it's a little weird reading this, so I'm kind of like seeing the name Chloe and kind of not zoning out, but I'm just kind of like pretending her name is not actually that and just like going as I go. But yeah, so that's a little tricky, but I had really wanted to read this, and I had a Libby Holden for it, and it's in, so I'm just like making my way through. I am headed downstairs. I just wanted to start the vlog. Also, I'm hanging out with Miss Goose over here. She says hi, because she's been up here. It's cooler today, so the bedroom isn't wildly hot, but I just thought I'd hang out with her for a sec while I filled you in, got the vlog started. This is mostly going to be like queer, romancy, rom-com-y things, I think, as a theme. I have 2 other books from the library that are kind of rom-com-y / romance, and I have some Kindle ones that I could toss in. So we're just going to kind of go with the flow, get some books knocked out, and then the next vlog will probably be shorter and have some, I think, creepier books involved. But this one is rom-coms, very rom-com-y, very fun. The sunlight is getting a little weird in this room, so I will talk to you later. My goal is to actually finish the long con today because it's not wildly long, and Krista is working tonight. So I will just be home with the dogs. I am baking a pie. I may show you the pie. We've been watching a lot of Supernatural. You couldn't tell from my ancient Dean necklace. And we're on season 10. But I've been talking about having pie while we watch it, and we hadn't picked up any pie. And then yesterday we need to go to the grocery store, so we got 2 different frozen pies, some like cream pies. We got so many goofy stuff. The cream pies are just little slices, but we got a strawberry rhubarb pie that Krista really wants to try, and I was like, oh, I could bake that while you're at court. So I will probably do that and read later tonight. So I will talk to you later, Gremolinos, but I think I'm going to leave the camera up here, but maybe I'll come get you. I don't know, or maybe I'll vlog in the kitchen. I haven't decided yet, but I will talk to you later, Gremolinos, when I have a long gone update and possibly a pie update. Hi, Gremolinos, you cannot see me. This is the pie. This looks so weird to me. Like, this doesn't look like a pie. This looks like fruit salad in a crust, but it is supposed to bake into this. The Marie Callender's rhubarb streusel, strawberry rhubarb streusel pie. We also have the streusel here. And I'm gonna pop this in the oven for 40 minutes. In that 40 minutes, I'm gonna try and read as much more of the long con as I can. I read a bunch while Krista was taking a nap. I also have to do dishes. And then I would have been reading more, but Krista had a project that she couldn't get to outside that I was like, oh, I can handle that. So I was doing some stuff outside that involved spraying some like foam into some goofy spots on the property to avoid bugs and water. Not anything major, just like tiny little gaps we had noticed near like windows. And I did that last summer too. I like went around and double checked things and did some sealant, but this is the pie. I am so curious to see how this goes. It says 40 minutes. Let's get in for 40 minutes. I will read, and then I will talk to you from there, my dearest Gremolinos. Let's hope this pie turns out. It is so hot, Gremolinos, but the pie is done. There was a step to add the crumble. Didn't film that part, but it is baked, and it has to cool for 2 hours, which I guess works out because Krista has to go back to court. She was able to come home to eat dinner, so I'm gonna go eat dinner with her, and I'm going to drink, I know you're not seeing me, a maple bourbon barrel-aged hard cider, which I've decided would be Dean Winchester's favorite cider ever. It tastes like what I assume Dean Winchester loves, besides Castiel. But this is the pie. And we'll have this later, and I will show you my completed pie. All of this started sounding very weird. Can you tell I've already had a cider and I'm very hungry? I'm gonna go eat my steak salad. And then I will talk to you later because I'm going to finish the long con, gosh dang it, before we eat this pie. Hello, Gremolinos. It's not pie time yet. Krista is still at court, and I have changed into pajamas. I'm wearing a Twilight shirt from Five Below that I bought ages ago. Not that I have truly an investment in Twilight. It's solely because I did a bunch of reading vlogs about Twilight because I had never read them. I'd read the first book. But I bought the shirt, and it's Pride Month, and Kristen Stewart's on the front. See, she's really, look, there you go. So that's why I'm wearing it. It's comfy, and she's on it. But I'm here because I did finish the long con, once it focuses. You can kind of see it, right? So there is a heist element. The initial heist does feel very Ocean's 8. It's at a big gala. There's a lot going on, but of course, that's only like halfway through the book. So there's a lot more going on. There is going to need to be an additional heist because they have not found what they're looking for. This does not want to focus on my face for whatever reason. There we go. There's like a lot happening. Chloe and Harper do seem to have a sort of enemies to lovers thing going on. There is some stuff that occurs, but ultimately just know that that is a very slow burn element of the story. But there is a lot to unpack. There's a lot of tension between Harper and her mother. I am going to say mother. I'm very sure at this point that they do reveal that because it's a very key part of the plot. So Catherine is Harper's mother. There's a lot of unresolved stuff there. There's a lot happening to unpack. And the heist still has to go on. They have to get this award back that they're trying to get. But everything becomes much more complicated. Chloe tries to get more information and that kind of backfires on her. There's just a lot of like things are not going well as the story continues to unfold. So I had a fun time. I would say this is kind of a romance. There is no epilogue. I will point that out because I thought maybe there would be. There is not a designated epilogue chapter. There is a final chapter that kind of jumps a bit in time, but is not marked as the epilogue. And I would be curious to see where all these characters are in the future. So I don't know if if Jenna Voris is planning on bringing these characters back at all. I don't know, but I would be curious to see them all a few years out. I think that could be, sorry, I'm about to start my camera. That would be very interesting. Now, the only thing here is that I don't actually know what I'm reading next. I already took a photo of this, so I'm gonna return this early because there are people who want it. I don't have any holds available on Libby yet. I have one pending, but it's not ready. So I'm just opening Kindle, which you can't see, because I have some books on my list. I'm saving that one. Sorry, I'm just like checking. I have some that are older than others. I'm reading a lot of YA in this one, but I'm wondering. Okay, so I have a sapphic hockey romance, a coffee themed sapphic romance, which also sounds very good. I have a few random things. Sorry, I'm coughing. My asthma is doing a thing. I have Kiss Me Maybe, which I did really want to read. Do I think... I feel like I can get at least one of these done. I do have a thing that would look really cute with this cover for a photo. So we are going to do... Doop, doop, doop. Like a Power Play. Green Rock University Icebound. I have no idea. This has to be a series. By L. Sprinkle. And I'm guessing our main character is Pan, based on her hockey stick here. And there's a dog. So we're going with Like a Power Play for the next book. My hope is going to be that I can finish... I'm gonna be very, very dark for a sec. There we go. Read this one and then read another KU book, because I do have a ton of queer romance on here that I've just like socked away. But I think this one will be a fun time. I have not read any sapphic hockey stuff. Actually, nope, I have. I read a Christmas romance that involved a hockey player. I cannot remember the name, but I did read one. It was really good, and I own the physical book. Shoot. It was in a Christmas vlog. So, please go back if I can't remember. But I know I read it. Actually, I have like the same hair as one of the female leads in that. But that was really good. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it was really good. They had to compete in these like competition things. It was cute. But Power Play, Like a Power Play, is gonna be the next book. Very hockey, very fun. Maybe it'll keep me cool during this hot time. Also, you can probably hear our AC window unit, but it is wildly hot outside, and every room in the house is hot because of the oven except our living room. So I wasn't gonna turn it off to film this clip. I'm gonna get to reading. There's the cider that I'm slowly sipping on while I wait for Krista to get home, and then when she gets home, we're gonna have pie. So you'll get to see strawberry rhubarb pie, and the pups are going to get their own treat that we picked up earlier today. But I'm gonna start reading some of this, see how it goes, and I will update you probably not until tomorrow. But I do want to get started on this one because I have 2 library books. I'm gonna hope for 5 books. I'm gonna hope I can get 5 books knocked out in this vlog, but we shall see. So I will talk to you later tonight, Gremlinos. Ta-da! Behold, very weirdly lit pie, but it's pie. This is the strawberry rhubarb pie. Krista cut it when she got home from court, and then this is what we're giving the pups. Not the whole thing. I'm gonna break it in half and then in half again, so they get like a 4th. But I'm gonna go. Gilmore Girls is on because that's what I had on for the dogs. We're gonna eat pie, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Hello, Gremlinos. It is a very rainy Sunday. I attempted to get my eye makeup to not smudge, and it chose to do what it pleases, which I understand. I am wearing my Bob's Pride shirt, which took me forever to find this year. I didn't find it until yesterday. I put it in a different drawer. I normally keep all my Pride stuff like in a specific spot, and it got into a different drawer, but have it. I also have this very large Dunkin' iced coffee. And we, Krista and I, pups could not come, are headed to this New York Food and Wine event. We've gone a couple of times. Last time we went, there was like no food, which was weird. It was like all liquor. It was mostly wine, which I had, but Krista couldn't drink any because she was driving. So I don't know, I'm hoping they either have more. I really just want them to have more food as an option, but if not, then I really think they shouldn't charge her full price because she can't drink because she's driving, and like she's not going to, and people there get completely sloshed because you pay like a flat fee and then like an entrance ticket fee, and then people just drink for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and like there were so many very, very drunk people. And I'm not saying I was sober, because I tried a few wines, some ciders, but like people get trashed. And yeah, so we shall see. I thought I would bring you with us. I won't really bring you out until we're in the convention center, and if it's too busy, then you won't get to see anything at all. Sorry. Some people bring kids, and I'm not gonna attempt to avoid filming drunk people and their children. So we shall see, but we're going because we thought it would be fun. It's super rainy. Kira's a little upset because she couldn't come. It's not a dog-friendly event, it's in a convention center. But she was like, I'm not coming, what? She was very sad. But yeah, I have no book update. I think I read a couple pages of like a power play, but not enough to tell you much of anything. So I'll fill you in on that later. It's a lot longer than I thought. It's almost 500 pages. So I'm not sure if I'll hit my goal of 5 books in this vlog. It may really just be 4 because that's so long. But we'll see. We'll see what I can accomplish. But I will talk to you later, either at the event or after the event.
Hello, no one's over here. This is my lovely wife who is relegated to this table with our purchases. I'm slightly complaining because there is literally no food for my lovely D wife. Again. I tried to get her a cheaper ticket and no one would listen to me. But I have to go drink probably $20 more worth of wine. So I'm off. We did buy wine and some cider. That cider is really good. But yeah, so I'm gonna walk around. I just thought I'd film a little. I'm not gonna film people. There are no kids though, so that's a plus. But I'm gonna go walk about without you, my dear Grumelinos. Talk to you later. I could leave you with Krista, she could film, but I don't want to make her do that. Sorry. No. Alright, gonna go. Bye, for now.
Good morning, Grumelinos. I did take a quick shower, so I haven't read anything this morning, and I haven't read enough of Power Play to really tell you anything. I'm a few pages further in than the last time I talked to you, but really, we got back from the food and wine thing. We actually stopped at a restaurant to pick up dinner after, and well, lunch and dinner because we hadn't really eaten anything. And then we just kind of hung out. We watched The Prom on Netflix because we were trying to think of something gay to watch admittedly, and we could not figure out what we wanted to watch. And I was like, oh, we like The Prom. So we watched The Prom. Then we like caught up on some YouTube, really just lounged, and then, so it was getting later and Krista was like, I'm gonna take a shower, you pick a movie or something. And I went and found a movie and I was like, oh, it was called Heat Wave, and it has, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, I never remember actors' names, like ever. So it had Bonnie from Vampire Diaries in it, and we liked a different movie she was in that I cannot for the life of me remember the name of. I was trying to explain it to Krista and I was like, I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name. She was in it and it was like, new employee secretly falls for boss's wife. They start having an affair, and then the boss mysteriously vanishes / maybe dies. Was like the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay. And the trailer looked like fun, like a little silly, but like solid, creepy thriller kind of thing. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I'm using my Cheer Bear cup today. But the movie was not good at all. It was so bad. And like they kept saying it was a record heat wave, and like consistently there were like a ton of candles lit, or like our characters were laying under blankets and no one was sweating. And I was like, you've told me it's 104. Like what? But it was not good. It was not good at all. So we like finished the movie and Chris was like, it was so bad, we have to watch something else. So we started rewatching Generation Q, which is the like the L Word reboot, quote unquote, show. So we watched the first episode of that and then went to bed. So that was basically her entire evening. I just read a tiny bit while Krista was in the shower, after I'd figured out what movie we were gonna watch, which I regret choosing that movie. It was so bad. But I'm going to do a card pull because I'm actually in my office. I did say I would only be doing it if I was in my office, and I was not in my office when I started this vlog. So let's do this. Krista did get to drink wine. once we got home, we're safely ensconced. She had some of the blackberry wine I picked out for her. I didn't do like a haul. I thought that would be weird. But we picked up a few things just because a lot of those groups like don't have a lot of stuff. So like not a lot of their stuff is available here. So I got some really good cider from one spot. They were really nice. And I got like a sparkling red wine that was super good. And then I got a few other things that like we don't get around here because they're like specialties for certain wineries. So I picked up a blackberry one that I knew Krista liked because we'd had it before, but I hadn't seen it since we bought it at, I think, a different wine fest. And then I also got a lavender wine I really like, which I'm probably gonna drink a little bit of after work. Just because I kind of wanted it yesterday, but I wasn't like feeling having more wine. I wound up having a cider primarily because it fell out of the fridge. I was moving stuff around. I put too much stuff in the top of our fridge. I don't like our fridge, but it works. So we're keeping it until it stops working. But I put too much stuff in the top, and when I was grabbing the blackberry wine for Krista, I knocked one of the ciders out of the fridge, and it wasn't like a can, it was a glass bottle with a cap, and it went capside down, smashed into my foot. Nothing broke, glass nor me. Oh, sorry, my voice has decided to go all of a sudden. Why? There we go. Okay. So it fell, but the seal for the cap completely busted. So there was cider going everywhere, and I was like, well, I'm drinking this now. So I just had a cider. I had plenty of wine. So, but yeah, it's just frustrating that that event doesn't care about designated drivers. And I say this because they really like are promoting everyone being there drinking, which I don't think is safe. It's really not. This event is in like the middle of nowhere, so no one is like Ubering there. Everyone is driving. Like there's no way people are not driving to get to the event. And also what was really interesting is I didn't get carded when I bought my ticket, but one of the booths looked at me and they were like, could we see your ID please? And I was like, oh, surprising. They didn't even card me at the door. So I'm also wondering if they're actually carding people appropriately, because yeah. Anyway, Krista was very hungry after, and I was also very hungry, but like there was nothing for her to eat really. We did buy some dip, like dip mix, from a booth that she liked, but like I was correct. There was barely any food and I was very irritated about it. But we're gonna draw this card. I'm gonna cut the deck one more time. I'm gonna cut it here. And this is the card we're picking. Whoa. The Wheel of Fortune. I know this card vaguely. I haven't pulled any Arcana, like at all. There's that. Oh, gotta deal with some stuff in a sec. Your X. So you're up here. There we go. Wheel of Fortune, a stroke of luck. This card may indicate that you stumbled on or are about to stumble on a bit of good luck. However, the wheel is constantly spinning, so this moment may be fleeting. If you're at a low point, let the Wheel of Fortune remind you that everything in life is a cycle. What you're experiencing now will come to an end. If you're at a high point, let it remind you that things will change at some point, but at the same time, remember that these happy moments are something to cherish. This card can also be a reflective pause to think about how you treat others. What goes around comes around, so make sure you're treating others well, even if you disagree with them. This card may remind you that often things are outside of your control and you have to roll with the punches. Everything you experience is leading you to your destiny. And it says luck, change, destiny, fate. And then, oh my gosh, there is a cat. There's a cat in the corner. So the model is Tara Shea Burke, she, her, and then Muffin, FKA Mafia the cat. Not there. Oh, it's gonna try and focus on my face. There, right there. Yay. The model's up there, but cat, adorable. All right, so there you go. I will talk to you later. That was a long clip for me to not talk about a book at all, but you know, but I do need to go. So I will talk to you sometime later today. I might try and read during lunch, but we'll see how that goes. I'm also playing BookTube. They need to catch up on from over the weekend, so I'm just like playing it in the background while I work, but I gotta get to working. So I will talk to you later today, Gremlinos. Hello, Gremlinos. It is the end of my workday. I am going to be able to give you a brief book thoughts, also stuff I played while I was working. But for Like a Power Play by Elle Sprinkle, I am roughly 20-something% through. I'm a little over 25%. I think I'm on chapter 15. So far, it's alternating points of view between Darcy and Harper. So Darcy, or not Harper. Yeah, Harper. Why am I having a hard time with names right now? Let me hop to chapter 15 and my brain will be less soupy. Yeah, Darcy and... No, it's not her. It's Peyton. Wow. She doesn't even have a chapter there. Why did I say Harper? Oh, I know why I said Harper. I was thinking about something else. Yeah, it's Peyton. Yeah, it's Darcy and Peyton. Harper was from something completely random. My brain is soup. I was actually talking about the long con on, like I posted about the long con earlier today, and that's Harper. That's why I confused Peyton and Harper. I don't know why. But we have gotten to a point where they almost kissed. So I feel like, as this is a romance, it's a good moment to like fill you in. We've had their first game. There's been a lot going on. There was a Halloween party. But what you need to know for this is that Darcy was a huge hockey player. She was very into hockey. She played hockey very dedicatedly. Hockey was like her life. But Darcy has rheumatoid arthritis. She was diagnosed. She also has, something else was discussed. Raynaud's, I believe is how you say it. But the issue is she can no longer play hockey. Her body will not allow her to do it. She is also trying out a number of medications, but none of them have really worked in a way that assists her. So she's kind of consistently in pain. Her mom is a hockey coach and was her coach for a long time. And she convinced Darcy to be the student coach for the team. Which this is gonna sound so horrible, but I keep forgetting the name of the team because their jersey color is the same as Clarkson, which is the school Krista went to for a little while. And she actually did play hockey briefly. But it's the Grizzlies. I know it's the Grizzlies, and they just had a game, so I was trying to see if I could find it because I am going to forget the name of the school again. Grizzlies. I'm not gonna see it. I just know they're the Grizzlies. I think that's all that really matters. So her mom is the coach, and ultimately she's like, you can't just give hockey up. You love hockey too much. So Darcy is now the student coach. Peyton is the captain of the team, but her father is a very, very, hello, loud sounds, very like well-renowned NHL player. So everyone really thinks of her by her last name and really associates her with her dad. And so she constantly feels like she's not living up to like her dad. And her dad, unintentionally or perhaps intentionally, he texts her before the game and really like gets her stressed out about the fact that like she's worried that she won't live up to expectations. So there's a lot of her overworking her body to try and really, this is a gosh dang giant truck driving around. Anyway, so Peyton is really just like dealing with the stress of being continuously associated with her dad, on top of the fact that she is the captain and she really does want to do a good job. Now, there's a lot of Darcy realizing that Peyton is pushing herself too much. And so she's like, she doesn't take breaks. Like there is a problem. And I feel like that's going to come to a head at a certain point in this story. We also get the rest of the team. Admittedly, they all have their own name and then nicknames. And I am having a horrible time remembering who is who. I'm just gonna let you know. I can follow it when they're very clear, but when they like jump back and forth between like nickname and real name, I get a bit lost. There's also Cleo, who is Darcy's roommate. And she's kind of a bridge point between some characters because she's friends with some of the hockey players. So that's kind of going on, but there are a lot of people to keep track of, which I am sometimes not very good at, especially when I'm like reading before work or like during lunch. Also sometimes just a lot of characters. Like I sometimes it's my own fault. Especially if the character has more than one name, like they get called different things, I will get confused. I am doing my best to keep track of them. Some are more prominent than others. So like I know one more clearly than another. There is a younger player named Indy that I think is going to play a big part as the story evolves. So that name I'm trying to keep track of, but again, I am getting, there's a chart at the beginning of the book, and if I was reading this like a physical book, it would be so easy because I could just like flip to the chart, and I would be great. But the downside is I can't do that, but I am enjoying it so far. This does feel very slow burn. We got this like possible like brushing of lips, and then that was it. And I am a little ways into the book. it's a hefty book. My plan is to read a lot while Krista is at court. She's gonna call me when she's headed home, and then I'm gonna make pasta. We're just having pasta at home because we ate out a little bit over the weekend. But yeah, so we're doing pasta. What else? Oh, I watched Jennifer's Body during work because, you know, nothing says pride like Jennifer Check eating boys. So I just had that on. I just needed something today. It's a weird work day, not in a bad way. It was just, I wound up being more, like, even busier than I anticipated. And there was a thing that kept like not working the way it was supposed to, and I kept having to deal with it. And it was driving me a little batty, just a tiny bit, because I kept being like, it's good. And then the person would be like, no, it's not. I was like, crap. So yeah, it was just a thing, but I do need to take the dogs out. So I just wanted to give you a quick little recap of the book, because I had gotten a ways in, more than previously, and the plan is to hopefully finish it tonight. I would like to finish this one because I do have those 2 library books and I want to get into them. One I know is very sad. I've seen some additional things like pop up about it, and it is sad, which I kind of expected. And the other one is actually a recommendation from my sister. So I would like to get into those, and then see where we go. I may only get to 4 books in this vlog, which is fine. I have a 5th lined up if I can get to it, but if not, it's okay. Again, if I don't finish these books in June, I'm just gonna read them in July. Like, you can't stop me. I read queer books all year round, and if I don't get to it in June, it's just gonna get bumped a little because Summerween starts on the 3rd. So I do have to switch it up, and I have a TBR prep for that already, like, planned out. I have to get one of the books still, but I have it like planned out at least. And none of these books would fit. So I will get to them when I get to them. So we're not gonna stress about it. But I do need to go. So I will talk to you later tonight when hopefully I've finished Just Like a Power Play. Oh, also we met the dog. The dog is very cute. The dog is in service dog training. And the reason they have the dog, whose name is Mr. Bubbles. Yes, Mr. Bubbles. There's just a little cat named Socks. He was left outside in a snowstorm outside a bar, and they basically just like took him because the owner sucked. But he's a sweetie and adorable. And if you liked the dog, I feel like it reminds me a little bit of the dog in The Role Model, the Rachel Reed book. There's a dog. They mentioned the dog kind of does the same thing as the dog that they have. But I must go. I will talk to you later tonight, Gremolinos. Promise. Hopefully. Hello, Gremolinos. I know I said I would talk to you last night, and that did not happen. Primarily because I actually did not finish Like a Power Play until this morning. Also, the school is Green Rock University. It's right here. It literally says Green Rock University Icebound, and I am a dope and just glossed over that every time. So I have finished this very long romance. I will say it is very slow burn. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I'm using my Cheers Queers mug and wearing my Support Positive LGBT representation. This is like the 1st gen version of this shirt. I think they added a Q, but this is old. This shirt is like no, that is incorrect. Yeah, it's like 9 years old. I'm gonna take a sip of this coffee. Also, if you hear weird noise, they're still doing construction behind my house. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, this is long. It is slow burn, but there are some spicy scenes mixed in between Darcy and Peyton. Those do occur. And they're in like random moments. Like you might not expect them, and then it's happening. I did enjoy this. I like both characters. It does examine Darcy's rheumatoid arthritis in more detail as the book continues. We also look at Peyton. Now, Peyton's plot I really thought was going to fall into her becoming injured because of overwork, and that is not actually what happens. I won't get into all of that, but she and Darcy wind up spending more time together. We also see Darcy integrating more with the team because Darcy has kind of been isolating herself since her rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis. The final chapters, I'm gonna say chapters because there's like 2 where we get some very like fun stuff for the future for Peyton and Darcy, and then there's also an epilogue set 4 years later to focus on something Darcy really wanted to do outside of being the student coach at the college with her mom. I did enjoy it. I do think it's a bit too long for what it is, because there's just a lot of slow burn. Like, it's a lot of the 2 of our main characters really like trying to figure out if they can date, if they want to be together. And it is, regardless of like steamy scenes, is still very slow in terms of how their relationship is going. Again, did enjoy it. I like the side characters. There are a lot of them. I got a little bit better with names, though admittedly I did confuse some people. But by the end of it, there are some helpful little nods. I would be curious to read more of this series. I do think the plan is for there to be more, since it says Icebound Book 1. And we have introduced other relationships. We know some of the other hockey players are queer. So there's a lot that can be used from this. Peyton, I think, is the oldest person on the team. So everyone else would still be at the college. And if we jump back in time, like a lot of series I've read do, like if the epilogue of this is discounted, we can follow the characters within, because there's a 4-year jump for this epilogue before that 4-year period. So yeah, I'd be curious to see more. She also, so Elle Sprinkle also has a book that's like Puppy Love, and I had almost read that one. I don't know how long that one is. I may read it in the future, but it's like a standalone. I don't think it's part of this universe at all. I don't think, because it's about like a dog groomer, if I remember correctly. I do need to do a card pull before my day gets too wild, because I haven't done that yet. I did say if I was in my office, we would do the card pull. I do have my other book picked out, so after I do the card pull, I'll show you the next book for the vlog, which I have heard is very emotional, more emotional than rom-com-y. So I will show you. Let's do another little bounce around. I am touching the deck. You can't really see it because I keep holding them too low. We're gonna cut here, 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 and here. Okay. Top card. The Six of Wands has a number of people and a horse. It's kind of in focus. I know I gotta cover my face so you can really see it. I'm holding it kind of funny. Let's see. 6. It's the Six of Wands. Sometimes for Roman numerals it takes me a second. Oh, I was so close. Okay. Ambition, success, victory. Woo, your hard work has paid off. The Six of Wands represents success. You powered through distractions and focused on the task at hand despite obstacles thrown your way. When this card appears, take a minute to pat yourself on the back for your accomplishments. Others have noticed your perseverance and resourcefulness. No need to be modest right now. Savor the positive reactions that come from accomplishments. This kind of attention has potential to give you even more strength and power to push you to continue forward toward the bigger picture. And there are a number of people. Oh, this is fun. This card actually has the creators of the deck on it. So Chess Needham, he, him, Ash Malesso, she, her, and Cassie Carrasco, she, they. So that's fun. You still can't really see the card. There we go. But there is that. Also, because I promised you the next book. The next book is going to be Next Time Will Be Our Turn by Jessie Q. Sutanto, I think. My brain did not want to say any words. This is the next one. I know Gabby read this, and I grabbed it because it kind of made me think of the premise of it slightly. It made me think of is it Last Night at the Telegraph Club? Vaguely, for some reason. And so I am curious. This one is a lot shorter, so hopefully I can get through this one more efficiently than the last one. And then we'll see where we go from there. So I will talk to you later tonight. Krista does have Cap Court, I think is what she told me. I think. So I'll probably be reading tonight because I'm not doing anything fancy for dinner. We're either doing leftovers or I'll make something from the freezer, I think. But I will talk to you later tonight, Grumelinos. I will try very hard because I do have lunch, which means I should be able to read a little, hopefully. All right, talk to you later tonight. Hello, Grumelinos. It is the end of my lunch break, but I was able to put a pretty solid dent in Next Time Will Be Our Turn. So in this, we're following initially Izzy. Izzy is, there's not a year, but just like present slash future-ish. So Izzy, it's the New Year's Eve party, and she is in, to actually say this, oh, that's my neighbor's dog. I think we are in Jakarta. So there's a big, yeah, we're in Jakarta. there's a big New Year's Eve party. The family is Indo-Chinese, so it's like a Chinese New Year party. They're doing the whole thing, and the grandmother, the matriarch of the family, arrives at the party in a fabulous red outfit with a white woman on her arm, like an older white woman, probably like roughly the same age, but everyone is shocked and confused and like, what is going on? And Izzy kind of freaks out. Her parents are freaking out, like, like no one is handling this well. And so she just like kind of runs out of the house when they get home, and she winds up running into her grandma, whose name is Magnolia. And Magnolia, who I believe it's like Nene, I think I could be saying that wrong, but it's her grandma. She starts talking to Izzy and reveals to her that the woman who came to the party, she met, like not Izzy, but Magnolia met her when she was 16, and Magnolia was in love with her. And so the story itself is predominantly from Magnolia's point of view. We went back in time to 2000. Oh, actually, we have to definitely be in the future because the grandma is 73 and she is 16 in, hold on, she's 16 in 1998, I believe. So yeah, definitely future. We're in a futuristic world. So I had to do math for a sec, sorry. When I started reading it, I was like, we're definitely set in the future, but there's no actual date anywhere because I was like looking and looking and I was like, there's no date. Definitely future. But she begins relaying the story of how she met Ellery. And Ellery is 3 years older than her, and they happen to be going to the same community college in Los Angeles. So the setup of this is that it's very typical for families in Indonesia to send their children to the United States for educational purposes. So her family sent her when she's 16. They had sent her sister even earlier than that, but she is sent at 16 to go to community college because the schooling systems are a little different, and that is how she met Ellery. We are then following as their relationship / friendship, it's predominantly a friendship is what we're introduced to, but Magnolia does feel more. We are following that for the period of time that Magnolia and Ellery are both going to the community college, but then something happens where they are not in the same city anymore, and then ultimately Magnolia does go back to Indonesia. So we're like getting all of that so far. I don't want to get into the ins and outs of it, but we are also getting these fun little moments because it's being told to Izzy by her grandma, where her grandma kind of like pops into the story to be like, oh, you think, no, is this weirding you out that I'm talking about me having emotions and me doing things? Because Izzy must be like making a face or looking freaked out. So those are very fun. There are also some written elements. We get some letters that were written to Ellery by Magnolia but never sent. And she like lets Izzy look at them, but then says Izzy's reading too slow. So she's like, I want to get on with the story. Come on, put him down. I'll just tell you the rest of it. So we're at a point where I don't think this would be a spoiler. I'm gonna double check. Yes. Okay, it doesn't 100% get into this. But we're at a point where Magnolia just hadn't spoken to Ellery for a long time, but we do know that a very tall white woman is at this party, and Ellery is a very tall white woman from Ohio, humorously enough. So that's really all I can tell you without too much spoilery stuff, because I did check the synopsis and it does primarily just discuss the college years, but we have gone past that. So just know it does say it spans decades and continents, so there's a lot happening. But yeah, so far we have only gotten Magnolia, and then we get interludes from Izzy where she is like reacting or responding or something along those lines to the story. But those scenes are pretty brief. Magnolia is our primary focus. Also, as you're reading it, Magnolia has various flower nicknames, which are very fun, but it is very good. There is a lot of examination from Magnolia looking back even to how heteronormativity really controlled what she chose to do with her life. Up to this point at least, and her kind of saying like, well, I just kind of decided not to look into other relationships when Ellery and I were no longer communicating. So that is I was just like, oh, yep, Yep. That I can understand. I got you. So I am very much enjoying it. It is not as sad yet as I anticipated, though the family is very upset that their matriarch brought a white woman in a manner they did not approve of to their holiday party. So I do think I can finish this after work. Again, Krista has court and I plowed through this pretty quickly, surprisingly. So I think I'll be able to knock this one out. But that's really been it. I'm drinking Diet Coke out of my Cheers Queers mug because I can. And that is my day. So I'll probably talk to you maybe not until tomorrow morning. Also, sorry, my nose is so runny. It's definitely allergies at this point and it's driving me crazy. I feel like I'll be totally fine and then my nose will just like bleh, which actually comes up in here where Magnolia's like, when she cries, her nose runs and she's like, I wouldn't always cry, but my nose would always run. And I'm like, yep, I definitely feel you right now. Because like my nose is just ridiculous. But I am very much enjoying it. The writing is very good. I love the little moments for Magnolia when she's like, oh, what do you think right now? Why are you being so judgmental? Like they're very fun little moments. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this ends because we do kind of know Magnolia's ending, but I think we're going to get a bit more about Izzy because Izzy is presented on the back in the synopsis and at the start of the book as feeling like the family black sheep. And it appears like her grandma has like gravitated towards her. She's calling her protege, even though Izzy's like, I'm not inheriting the company. I don't know what you're talking about. So that's been interesting. But I do feel like the grandma feels a connection to her. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But yeah, I do need to go though. Also, there's very loud music outside my window. So I will talk to you either tonight or tomorrow, Gremolinos. Hello, Gremolinos. I have composed myself. Also, I took out the dogs. It's a little bit after work. I have finished. Next time will be our turn. And this book, very well and truly, destroyed me in the last 70, 80 pages. So I had a feeling about one character, solely because of how the family setup was. I had like a sneaking suspicion that something like sad was going to be presented, but not what actually happened. And then it just got sadder and sadder and sadder. And then the epilogue, well, there's like a happy moment in it. It's also sad as heck. So like, this is a very well written book. It's beautifully done, but it is sad. Like the story itself, there's just so much sad at the end of it, which is why I was like, if I remember, this one's not really a rom-com. And I will say there are elements that feel like a rom-com, but I would say if I was going to compare it to anything, I'm trying to think, is there a movie I would actually compare it to? No, that doesn't quite work. I can't really think of one that would like fit correctly without also like spoiling something. So like, just know it is very well written, but I feel like it just like, it will trip you up because you won't be ready. Like I was not ready. And then I was like, oh no. And from that point on, it was just a gut punch the rest of the way through. Beautifully written gut punch, but still gut punch. So I do recommend, but just know like, it is sad. So don't read this in public. Like the last, I'm gonna hedge and say 100 pages. Don't read the last 100 pages in public. Cause, oh boy. But yeah, the writing was great. I'm curious if, I know there are other novels listed. Oh, right. But this is, yeah, I feel like all the other titles, at least through this publisher that Sutanto has done, are like cozy mystery kind of things. Like it's the Dial A for Auntie series and the Vera Wong series. One of those I'm not sure, but I don't think it's, I'll have to look it up. There's one called You Will Never Be Me, but I don't think that's also like this. I don't know. It's beautifully done. Just truly, truly sad. And that's all I'm gonna say, because if I say too much, I will spoil stuff. I feel like you just need to go in knowing that someone is telling you their life story, but in regards to a relationship that very much like, was a pinnacle factor in their life, but did not go the way that they could have hoped, in part. So yeah, but it got me. It really got me. We're now moving on to a different book, completely different actually. This is a suggestion from my sister. So she actually read this. It's by Kat Sebastian, and it's called You Should Be So Lucky. And it is a baseball romance. It's, I believe, a Killian. I think it's, oh, here we go. Well, it says queer, so there we go. I'm just gonna go with that. The top of this says, an emotional slow burn, grumpy sunshine, queer romance between the new star shortstop stuck in a batting slump and the reporter assigned to reluctantly cover his first season. But this is set in the 60s, the 1960 baseball season. So this is a historical queer romance. It's very intriguing. And apparently our one main character plays for the New York Robins. It's a cute uniform. And this works out perfectly because Krista and I will be watching A League of Their Own, the television show, which I'm just going to vent very slightly. I vent every time I talk about it. It was renewed for a second season, and Amazon said, no, we lied. And so we only got one season. It's an incredible show. Should have gotten a freaking second season. But we are watching it on Thursday. We actually, I don't have work that day. I do. I took a day off. Also, my boss kept saying I should take a day off because he was like, oh, well, I want to make sure no one burns out. So I took a day off, even though I have other days off in, like, scheduled. It was a whole thing, but we're gonna be watching it on Thursday is all you really need to know. And I'm gonna vlog some of it, like what we eat and stuff, because I wanted to do themed food for watching baseball. But yeah, this is the next book. My sister really liked this. She did recommend it, and so I'm curious. Oh, the font is very big. Is this also like a billion pages? I'm not looking at spoilers, I swear. Okay, only 379, so that's not that bad. I was just seeing if it was another 500 pager, because my concept of page space today is not good. But I'm excited to read this. If I finish this before Thursday, then I keep panning the camera over there. Then I might start a fifth book, but if not, this will be the final book of the vlog. We'll just see. But I'm very curious to see how this one goes. I have not read, because like, this, I guess in theory, you could almost say, oh god, I think technically, if there are American Girl dolls for the 90s, this technically begins as a historical romance. Technically. That makes me feel ancient. But technically, I think that's correct. But 1960s, so I'm curious. What year is League of Their Own set in? I'll have to double check. I always forget the actual year that show is set in. I'm bad at the concept of it. I should know. I could Google it actually. But it's not the 60s. But yeah, I'm gonna go chill with the pups. I just wanted to update you up here because I was like, oh, I'm gonna finish the book and then I'll film in the bedroom to give you a different, like, visual. And also, it was very sad. So yeah, I'm gonna start on what should hopefully maybe be, I don't think it's gonna be happier. It's the 60s and they're gay. So, you know what? It's gonna bug me. Yes, camera. Dear Gremily knows, we are looking up what year specifically A League of Their Own, the TV show, is set in. Because I can't remember and it's bugging me. Yes, there is. There it is. Does it say what year it's set in? Okay, it just says World War II, which is a general number of years. Okay, alright. Can't just say World War II. Because it's set over the course of like 1 year. 1943, according to Wikipedia. So there we go. I was like, I know it's before 1960. Mostly I knew it was before 1960 because the men were at war. But there you go, 1943. It was just really bugging me that I couldn't remember. I was like, I think it's 40s, but I couldn't remember the exact year because it tells you. But I'm gonna go. Oh shoot, I should bring you downstairs. Because I might have a tiny bit of wine while I'm reading with the pups. And I want to show you the wine bottle from yesterday because I unintentionally am a giant dope and I got a bottle of wine at the thing and I drank a bit more of it than I anticipated. But it was a lavender wine and I feel like you should see the label because it was very Pride. So yeah, I do need something to drink though. I've had so many Coke, like fake Coke Zeros. I was really thirsty, but I didn't want Gatorade because it's not that hot. And I had cold coffee, but I'd already had hot coffee. So I like didn't want to drink the cold coffee because I'm going to drink it tomorrow. I'm just rambling now, but I'm going to go downstairs. I think I'll bring you so you can see the wine bottle for the lavender because it's really pretty. And then I will go from there. So see you in the kitchen, Gremolinos. The aesthetic kitchen shot. Also, this is my camera bag. Just FYI, this is how much Krista and I love A League of Their Own. I actually got this in Cooperstown at a gift shop. But this is the wine I was talking about. It's from Adirondack Winery. And it's Lavender Serenity. It's white wine with lavender. It's really good. And they only typically have it at their, like, when they go to events. So yeah, got that. But I just realized I have to do so many dishes. I completely forgot. So I'm going to do dishes and then I'm going to read. So I will probably talk to you tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll make coffee together if it's cool enough. If not, I'll grab an iced coffee and then we'll talk in the morning. So I will see you then, Gremolinos. Good morning, Gremolinos. They're doing construction again. I don't know what they're working on, but they're jackhammering the road. So I went to the bathroom, I was finishing getting ready, and I heard this insane sound. And I was like, what is going on? What is going on? Because I couldn't tell where it was coming from. And our upstairs bathroom is directly across from my office. Like, they share a wall. So I was like, and so I like run into the hallway and I'm like, where's the sound coming from? Because I think it's like, my brain thought it was in the house. And I'm like, no, okay. And I stand by my office door and I can just hear it. And I was like, what? Because I had my window open. I run in here, look out, and I was like, oh, they're jackhammering. So I had to close my window to try and mitigate the sound. I might open it later if they're gone. Also, Cheer Bear cup is back. This is in the fridge for a couple days. I did not have like the coffee grounds in it. Like, just been sitting and ready, but I was warm today, so I was like, oh, I'll just drink that. Oh no, my battery's dying. Oh, this is terrible. Okay, I gotta talk fast then. Book update. I am a ways into You Should Be So Lucky, and I'm very glad my sister recommended this. I'm wearing my GPBL shirt. Right, I said that right? Or I said that wrong? Yeah. Krista and I have matching shirts, but I was looking for this and I was like, oh, I'll wear it because baseball. We're following Mark, who is a reporter who's been asked to write these fake diaries for Eddie O'Leary, who was recently traded to the New York Robins, but now he can't hit. And so the two of them kind of strike up a relationship in a casual sense, because Mark has done research and is like trying to get to know him and understand him. And it turns out, of course, they're both gay. Mark is a little bit older, not a lot older, but a little bit, and he is still coping with the loss of his partner, William. I'm not going to get too much into that because there is a discussion of it. And Eddie, back where he used to be in, shoot, was it Kansas City? I think it was Kansas City. Yes, it was Kansas City. He could have secret relationships, kind of like hook up with guys at least, because there was a way to keep quiet, but he doesn't know how to do that in New York. So like, there's some tension, there's some stuff. I'm very curious to keep reading, but I am enjoying it so far. I read a ton yesterday. Oh shoot, card pull. Can we do the card pull in like 2 seconds? 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds, battery. You can do it. You can do it. We're even gonna do quick shuffles. Quick shuffles. This could be a horrible card draw because I'm doing it so fast. All right, and we split, 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 and split. And the card of the day is the Four of Cups. Covering my face so maybe you can see it. Okay, we're gonna read fast. Reading fast, reading fast. Oh my gosh. Did not think about the fact that my battery would need charging. Cups, cups, cups. It's gonna probably die while I'm trying to find cups. Oh, here we go. Okay. 4. Discontent, boredom, apathy. The Four of Cups can group into your life when you begin to find your situation undesirable and are spending energy reevaluating it and going within. You may feel bored or tired of the monotony of the day-to-day, or like the grass is greener on the other side, but not quite ready to take that leap to something else. Predicts uncomfortable feeling. It ultimately encourages you to reframe the way you perceive things. This is very long, so I'm not reading the whole thing. The model's name is Co-S, he, they. Ta-da! All right, I'm gonna go. I have work stuff to get working on. It's early though. It's a thing I need to do before work officially starts, this whole thing. and then I'm gonna try and read some more, then I'm gonna read at lunch. I'll probably talk to you after work, but I'm gonna go because I gotta charge my battery. Talk to you later, Gremolinos. Hello, Gremolinos. I'm here to tell you that I did in fact finish. You should be so lucky. My brain literally broke for a sec. I have finished work. I am running a Windows update that absolutely had to be run, it said. But I finished this. I am so glad my sister recommended this. One, the baseball tone of it was perfect for the build up to tomorrow, where Krista and I are going to be watching League of Their Own. So that was lovely. Also, I'm taking a sip of my Diet Coke, which is not really Diet Coke. It's off-brand. I'm just calling it Diet Coke for ease of name. But this was so good. We see a lot of character development for Eddie. We see a lot of character development for Mark. The two of them getting more comfortable with each other. And we do get some people who are accepting, even though very private, about the fact that they know the two men are together. We also get some cute, like, team dynamics as the story progresses. We get just like great character moments, and there isn't really a third act breakup, which I very much appreciated in this. There sort of is, but it's very light, I feel like, in terms of other third act breakups I have read. But this was really great. I would read more from Cat Sebastian. I just feel like this was like the perfect Pride Month read, because it is, for the most part, very summery because it's baseball. So I would very strongly encourage you to read it. It also went by very quickly. There's alternating points of view. They're not labeled, but you can tell who's who as you're reading. We also get some other queer characters because Mark has queer friends. So you meet them. There's also just some like very touching moments of like found family or selected family as it evolves. And we do learn more about William and the relationship. Sorry, my asthma's acting up. The relationship he and Mark had, because Eddie does actually want to know like about them. There are some very intense moments of grief for Mark, even ones he isn't prepared for. And there are some, like, Lula, the dog, who was actually William's dog, is with Mark, and we see Lula also kind of dealing with her grief, but then like having happiness in a certain way. You'll understand if you read it. But I think this was very, very good. And I do think it handles the fact that it's the 60s very well. So I highly recommend. I do need to go. Krista and I have a ton of things we have to do. One thing is very odd. I'm not taking you with us. We have to swing by a store. Like, just goofy things are happening. I'm just gonna throw out there goofy things are happening today. And also I want to take a picture of the two of us with this book while we're both wearing our shirts. So that'll be in the thumbnail. Keep your eyes out for that, my dear Gremolinos. But I will talk to you tomorrow while I am enjoying a full day off. And you'll get to see a little bit of the day. Just like what we're watching or eating. You know we're watching League of Their Own, but maybe I'll show you a tiny clip or we'll talk about it a little. I don't know. But we're also doing like themed food because I love a theme. So I will talk to you tomorrow to close out the vlog. There won't be an additional book. I don't have the time tomorrow to read a whole book, and I want to get this video up on Friday. So I'm just going to show you some of what we do, get all that set up, so you get to enjoy that, and then we'll end the vlog tomorrow. So I will see you on a League of Their Own day, Gremolinos. Hello, Gremolinos. It is Thursday, and Krista is still at work. I'm actually headed back downstairs. It has been such a morning. Okay, so I am borrowing this hat I got for Krista. It's a Rockford Peaches hat. It actually says peaches on the side. I don't think you can get this anymore because I got it from like a small seller who did them as like a very brief like thing when the first season came out. Like, it's unofficial merch, but it was the only hat I could find that actually had the R. So I got this for her ages ago, but I'm borrowing it just so you can see it for this clip. And then I'm wearing my Greta Gill jersey. I can't really show you the back. I'm gonna take this off, but oh my goodness. So we got up at normal time. Krista has work for the beginning of the day. So she went to court, well, work, whatever. And so right after she left, I was like, okay, well, I found my jersey. Like, I randomly saw it a couple days ago, so I knew where it was. So I grabbed it so I know where it is, like, so I could put it on. And then I was like, okay, well, now I'll find Krista's. I spent an hour trying to find hers. I don't know where it is. I dug through every drawer. I dug through basically her, I feel like everyone has this, like the clothes chair. She has like a little clothes pile by her closet. I was like, maybe it's in there. I dug through all of that. I was digging through clothes for an hour. I still can't find it. I found 2 different Pride jerseys and a Rockford Peaches t-shirt, but I cannot find her actual Carson jersey. It's a shawl on the back, because Greta and Carson are like a thing. So I have Greta's. I had longer hair when we got them, but I've kind of grown out my top a lot more than normal So it's pretty long. But I can't find it. And I got super overheated. So then I took a shower. And my hair's still kind of a little wet, not a ton wet, but a little. And then I was like, okay, I told Kira I was gonna hang out with them downstairs. So I took a shower, and like it's already 9 something by then. I go downstairs to get my coffee mug because I was like, oh, I'm gonna use my Schitt's Creek coffee mug, which is in like one of our cabinets. I go to move the mug and it's stuck. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is this mug stuck? So I like wiggle the mug out and I realize one of the shelf supports, like those little plastic pieces, is gone for the shelf above my coffee mug. And that's why it was stuck. So I immediately start sliding. Okay, so there weren't a ton of mugs on the upper shelf of this cabinet. They're mostly these little cups that belong to Krista's grandma that are like, I think they're punch cups actually. And then a couple tiny coffee mugs. So I like slide those out as best I can and I'm like, I'm gonna need a step stool. So I find our step stool on the porch. I get that out. I get all the cups cleared off that top shelf. They're just sitting on the counter right now. I try to see if I can find the shelf support. Nope, not in the cabinet. I have no idea where it is. I don't know if it broke. I don't know if it's in a mug. I don't know what happened to it. And we used to have a bag of extra shelf supports because we had this issue happen with a different cabinet. I can't find them. I can't find them anywhere. So I was looking all over for that, and then I was like, okay, it's fine. So the shelf is holding with nothing on it, like it's not an issue. I made sure it was as level as it could be, but I'm not putting anything back on it until I can find the shelf supports. So after that, I finally made coffee. So I've had coffee. Kira was very firmly on top of me, but now it's thunderstorming. So it's just a day. I'm not sure exactly when Krista's getting home. I might make a little more coffee. I'm just hanging out. I put Bob's Burgers on. Bob is a bisexual icon, if you did not know. So we have that on. I also just needed something fun and light. I was gonna watch YouTube, but no one had any new videos yet because it's still kind of early. But yeah, so I'm just hanging out until Krista gets home. And then we're gonna have lunch. We both did not feel great last night. So, oh my gosh, I do need to go downstairs. So we had to run some errands after work, which I totally fine. Krista has really wanted sushi for like 2 weeks and I keep putting it off because like sometimes I'm just not in the mood for sushi. Like I'm not in the mood. So yesterday she really wanted to get sushi and I was like, yeah, that's fine. It was that or hibachi, but I didn't want to sit through the hibachi show. So which is probably good because hibachi was really busy, but we're pretty sure we got mild food poisoning from the sushi. And we say that because we watched our sushi get completed and then just like sat on a counter and our person like did not bring us our sushi right away. I'm also not entirely sure there wasn't like cross-contamination or something. I don't know, but we both felt very blah when we got home. Like it was just strange, and we have actually had issues with our restaurant before, so yeah. We've decided if we're going to get sushi, we have to go to the good sushi place that's like 20 minutes away. So we didn't do that last night, so we just both didn't feel great. But hopefully she'll be home for too long. I do think I'm gonna make more coffee. I might start reading a book for not this vlog. So I might just like read a little or chill. I don't know what I'm doing. But I did shower and I got my jersey on and I really wish I could figure out where Krista's is. I tried so hard. I was so sweaty. It's so like, it was gross. I was really sweaty and I was like a little woozy because I was getting so hot. I truly cannot find it. I have looked everywhere. I thought I put our jerseys together, but they weren't together. Also, the cats have knocked everything out of these out of our dresser because the drawers are like foldable. They have destroyed them multiple times. So like stuff falls on the floor and then it gets buried and I don't know. I'm hoping maybe she knows where it is. I sent her a text. And I was like explaining everything that had gone on today. But yeah, I'm gonna head back downstairs, hang with the pups. We are gonna be watching League of Their Own in the bedroom. And we'll probably eat lunch up here too. So the final clips will just be in the bedroom. I'll probably show you our lunch. And then tease. We're not drinking wine with lunch, but I will tease what wine we're gonna drink because we have like a themed one. Unintentionally kind of, but we have a themed one. And then yeah, that'll be the end of the vlog. But I just want to like show you that a little bit to tie it up. So yeah, that's been the day. I will talk to you to basically close out the vlog. And yeah, I'll talk to you in a little bit, Gremlinos. Hi, Gremlinos. My kitchen is a mess, kind of all the time. But I am in charge of making lunch, so I have fries in the oven, and there was a very loud knock at the door, and a package came today. So, Krista signed me up for this 1911 fan club thing. They are a cider company. They have other stuff, but I really like their cider ages ago. And they randomly sent her an email that was like, your new cider box is coming. And normally you get like a heads up like a week in advance because they want to tell you what's in the box. And she was like, weird, they didn't send me anything. So I've already opened it just to get an idea of what's in there. First, they sent this really fun giant wine glass that says 1911 established hard cider. Indeed, it's like washed, there's a little glue on it. Like, that's fun. They wrapped it in a ton of bubble wrap and stuff. But my wife is home. Boxes. The box is on the floor by my feet. I can't really show you this super well, so please hold on. All right, well, Krista talks to the pups. It is literally 8 different ciders. So they did red sangria, sour pomegranate, that's their standard original, and then creamsicle. And then we have pineapple mango, Honeycrisp, rosé, which I've never actually had, I think. That one? I'm like literally staring at it. No, it is actual cider. They have a, oh, and black cherry. So we got 8 cans of cider and a nice wine glass. And hopefully you couldn't read this. Did not realize that was kind of visible. I think we're fine. But yeah, but I need to finish cooking food. So, oh, the wine. Look at the fridge. Behold the fridge. This is the wine I was talking about. It's Island Peach Paradise. I was debating about that for a while. We watch stuff later tonight, but I'm gonna put these ciders in the fridge. All right, I gotta finish cooking lunch. I'll talk to you before we start watching things. Behold hot dogs and fries. Also hot dogs and fries. Of course, that started playing the ad. That's lovely. Behold cats. And then, pay no attention to all the clothes everywhere. I really was looking very intensely for a shirt. League of Their Own on the television set. I'm not gonna play any clips for you because I am very sure Amazon, even though they wouldn't renew this show, would hit me with a million copyright strikes. So we're gonna be watching this. It's only 8 episodes. It does not take long to watch. My lovely wife is here. From behind, you can see that she's wearing a Syracuse Mets pride jersey from 2 years ago. Yes, from 2 years ago. Let me flip this over. My favorite number. Yes, it is her favorite number. And we're flipping the camera. Behold a goose. Hi. I can't see myself, so let's tip this up. Ta-da! Alright, we're gonna eat and watch League of Their Own. I'm gonna turn on a fan because it's hot in here. But that's the end of the vlog. So I hope you enjoyed the books. I'm gonna enjoy the show with my lovely wife. Like, subscribe, comment if you have book recs for this month or next month or any month. Queer recs, preferably. Oh, and I'm on Instagram at Clef Go Ever After. But that's it, I think. So I will see you in the next one, Gremlinos. Bye!